Welcome to lecture on oscillations and waves.
So in this lecture I am going to discuss resonance, examples of resonance, conditions for resonance, sharpness of resonance, and one example for the resonance, that is a Helmholtz resonator. So now let us discuss the resonance in detail. In the previous class I discussed that if the frequency of the vibrating body, that is the natural frequency of the vibrating body, becomes equal to the frequency of the applied force, then the resonance occurs. So consider the example in which if we bring a vibrating tuning fork near another stationary tuning fork of the same natural frequency as that of the vibrating tuning fork, we find the stationary tuning fork also starts vibrating. So this phenomenon is known as resonance. When the frequency of the periodic force acting on the vibrating body is equal to the natural frequency of the vibration of the body, the energy transfer from periodic force to the body becomes maximum, because of which the body will vibrate with the maximum amplitude. So this phenomenon is called resonance. So in the case of resonance, the frequency of the applied periodic force must be equal to the frequency of the natural frequency of the vibrating body, and also the damping must be very small. So let us consider some examples for this particular resonance. First one, tuning of radio or transistor. So when the natural frequency is so adjusted by moving the tuning knob of the receiver set that it equals to the frequency of the radio waves, the resonance takes place and the incoming sound waves can be listened after being amplified. So this is how the radio receiver works. Second one, it is already discussed, the vibrations caused by an excited tuning fork in another nearby identical tuning fork. So another one is, soldiers crossing a suspension bridge are prohibited to march in steps and are advised to march on the suspension bridge out of steps so as to avoid the resonance between the natural frequency of the bridge and the frequency of the steps of the soldiers, which may cause the collapse of the bridge. Helmholtz resonator is another example for the resonance that I will discuss at the end of this session. Similarly, there are many other examples. For example, the musical instruments can be made to vibrate by bringing them in contact with vibrations which have the frequency equal to the natural frequency of the instruments. Or strike a tuning fork and hold it over a tube containing water. If the level of the water in the tube is gradually lowered, the length of the air column increases. When the natural frequency of the air column equals to the frequency of the tuning fork, a very loud sound is produced. So this is a case of resonance. Now let us obtain the condition for resonance. So for that, let us consider a body of mass m vibrating in a resistive medium of damping constant R under the influence of the external periodic force F sin Pt. where F is the amplitude of the periodic force and P is the angular frequency of the periodic force. Omega is the natural frequency of the vibrating body. Then the equation for the amplitude of the vibration is given by A is equal to F by M divided by square root of 4B squared P squared plus omega squared minus P squared whole square. So here B is equal to R by 2M. R is the damping constant and M is the mass of the vibrating body. So this equation shows that the amplitude varies with the frequency P, that is the frequency of the applied periodic force. So for a particular value of P, the amplitude becomes maximum, A becomes maximum. So this phenomenon is known as the amplitude resonance. So there are two conditions for the resonance. First one, the B should be minimum. That is, when the damping caused by the medium should be made minimum. Second one, by tuning the frequency P of the applied force to become equal to the natural frequency of the vibration, that is omega is equal to P. So the two conditions can be proved theoretically in the following manner. So the denominator of this particular equation should be minimum. That is square root of 4B squared P squared plus omega squared minus P squared whole squared should be minimum. So we know that as per the rules of the differential calculus, the differential coefficient of a function will be 0 both at maximum and minimum. So hence, to be minimum, the differential coefficient of the denominator in the equation should be 0. So that is, the differential coefficient of this should be equal to 0. So that is nothing but d by dp of 4b squared p squared plus omega squared minus p squared whole square should be equal to 0. Now differentiating with respect to p, so 4b squared into p squared, differentiating p squared with respect to dp, so that is 2p plus differentiating this term, that is 2 omega squared minus p squared into minus differential of minus p squared, that is minus 2p, so that is equal to 0. Now here, so this 4p is common, here 2 into 2, that is 4p, here also 4p, so 4p gets cancelled, so this becomes equal to 2b squared minus omega squared minus p squared should be equal to 0. So therefore p squared is equal to omega squared minus, it is clear from the above that the denominator reaches its minimum when equation 2 is satisfied. Further condition reduces to p squared is equal to omega squared when b is negligible. So if b is negligible, that means damping is small, damping offered by the medium is small, then p squared is equal to omega squared. So when p is equal to omega, the amplitude is A maximum is equal to f by m by 4 square root of 4b squared omega squared. This is because A is equal to f by m square divided by square root of 4b squared p squared plus omega squared minus p squared whole squared. Now p is equal to omega here, so this is 0, so this is 0, so f by m is equal to 4b squared p squared. So f by m is equal divided by square root of 4b squared omega square, so that is equal to f by m, so this is equal to 2b omega. So this is the condition for the amplitude resonance. So when b is 0, the amplitude of the vibration will be infinity. That is, when the damping, there is no damping, zero damping, then the amplitude of vibration will be infinity. But this is the ideal condition. It is not possible. So therefore the maximum amplitude is having some finite value here. So the condition for resonance are: 1. Frequency of the applied force must be equal to the natural frequency of the vibrating body, that is P is equal to omega, and 2. The damping factor B must be minimum. So these are the conditions for the resonance. Sharpness of resonance. The process of varying the frequency of the applied force to match the resonance frequency of the vibrating body is called tuning. When the frequency of the applied force approaches the resonance frequency, a steep increase in the amplitude of the vibration is observed, which reaches the peak when the two frequencies coincide, and then it decreases rapidly as the applied frequency starts deviating from the resonance frequency. The significance of a sharpness of the resonance can be understood as follows. We have seen that the amplitude of the forced oscillation is the maximum when the frequency of the applied force has the value satisfying the condition P is equal to square root of omega squared minus 2b squared. So if the frequency changes from this value, amplitude falls. When the fall in the amplitude for a small departure from the resonance condition is very large, then the resonance is said to be sharp. On the other hand, if the fall in the amplitude is small, then the resonance is termed as flat. So here in this figure, that is a upper curve here. So here the resonance is very sharp because the fall in the amplitude when there is a change in the small change in the frequency is large. So the curve is sharp here, whereas here the fall in the amplitude for the given change in the frequency will be flat or less. So therefore the curve is flat. So thus the term sharpness of the resonance means the rate of fall of the amplitude with the change in the frequency of the applied force on each side of the resonance frequency. So we know that the amplitude of vibration at resonance is given by A maximum is equal to F by M divided by 2B omega. So when there is no resonance, amplitude of vibration is given by this one, A is equal to F by M. So this is the amplitude at resonance, and when there is no resonance, so this is the amplitude. So near resonance, that is P is equal to omega, omega squared minus P squared is equal to 0. So therefore this is 0. So A becomes equal to F by M 2BP. So this gives the amplitude at resonance, and this gives the amplitude very closer to resonance. So therefore A is equal to F by M divided by 2BP, and A maximum is equal to F by M divided by 2B omega. So change in amplitude is equal to this minus this, that is A maximum minus A, that is equal to F by M divided by 2B omega, this one, minus F by M divided by 2BP. So that is equal to F by M divided by 2B into 1 by omega minus 1 by P. So that is F by M into P minus omega divided by 2B omega P. But the sharpness of the resonance is change in the amplitude divided by change in the frequency. So this represents the change in the amplitude, and change in the frequency is P minus omega. So therefore, sharpness of the resonance is, so here if you divide it by P minus omega gets cancelled. So it is equal to F by M divided by 2B omega P. So therefore, the sharpness of the resonance depends inversely as a B, or the damping constant. Now what is the effect of damping? So there is a relationship between the damping and the sharpness of the resonance. So this figure shows graphically the variation of the amplitude with the omega squared minus P squared. So one can notice that the curves are rather flat for a larger value of B. For example, here for B is equal to 3, curve is flat. So here the change in the amplitude for the given change in the frequency is less, whereas for B is equal to 1 here, the curve is sharp. That is, for the change in the, or the fall in the amplitude for the given change in the frequency will be more here. So the curve is sharp here. So for B is equal to 0 here, so theoretically the amplitude should be equal to infinity, but it is not possible. It is the ideal condition, so, and it never exists in reality. So this is the effect of damping on the sharpness of the resonance. So what is the significance of the sharpness of the resonance? So the amplitude of the oscillation of the oscillating body or the system rises to maximum when the frequency of the applied external force is equal to the natural frequency of the vibrating system. However, the rise in the amplitude will be very sharp when the damping is very small. Helmholtz resonator. Helmholtz resonator is used to analyze the quality of the complex musical notes using the phenomenon of resonance. Or if the complex note is allowed to fall here, so it will select a particular note from that particular complex note. So it consists of a hollow sphere made of glass or brass containing air or some other gas inside that. So it has a wide hole at one end A, which is called the mouth. Opposite to it there is a projection, or there is a narrow opening B called neck. The wide mouth A receives the exciting waves of the musical note, and narrow neck B is applied to the ear. So as the air is completely surrounded, the energy dissipation is low here. The damping is small, and therefore the resonance is sharp. So when the complex note falls on it, it picks up one of its own frequency, magnifies it, and so that the presence is detected by the ear. So when the stream of air runs into it as a compression waves, the pressure inside rises. So this stops the further inflow of the air. So air is pushed outward. So outward flow of air continues little longer than that required to reduce the pressure inside to outside value. So the pressure inside falls and an inward flow begins. So the cycle is repeated and the vibrations are maintained. The air enclosed in such a hollow body will have a definite value of natural frequency. That is called omega. Omega is the natural frequency of this particular vibration of the air. So when one of the component frequencies of the musical note carried by the incoming air is the same as this omega, the air inside the vessel is set vibrations of the same frequency with large amplitude. A small part of the air leaks through B and is heard. So thus the resonator is set to resonate for the note of that particular frequency. So it can be shown that the square of the natural frequency of oscillation is inversely proportional to the volume of the resonator V. That is, omega squared is proportional to 1 by V. So here omega is the natural frequency of vibration of the air inside this particular resonator, and V is the volume of the resonator. Or omega squared is equal to K by V, where K is the proportionality constant. Or omega squared V is equal to K, so that is a constant. So if there is a complex note which is falling or which is going inside this particular resonator through this particular mouth A, for one particular note, the frequency of that particular note becomes equal to the natural frequency of the air which is vibrating inside this particular instrument. So that particular note can be heard with the loud sound through this particular neck B here. So this is how this Helmholtz resonator works. Thank you.